The new coronavirus is spreading fear and concern around the world, and in some places, racism is rearing its ugly head. Chinese people and Asians at large are now perceived as disease carriers by some foreigners, and their dietary habits are on the chopping block. This is not by accident. Some people's anxieties and biases have mischaracterized the outbreak, and misinformation is racializing the virus even more. The outbreak was initially traced back to a seafood market in the city of Wuhan in central China, where some vendors were illegally selling wild animals. Scientists then theorized that the new coronavirus could be linked to bats. Both findings are still inconclusive, but many were quick to put two and two together. Undated clips like these began to make the rounds online, feeding the discourse that Chinese people brought the disease upon themselves. One specific video found infamy. This is Chinese blogger Wang Mongyuan, and she bit into a bat on camera. It was just what some people needed to pin the onset of the outbreak onto Chinese eating practices, even though the clip eventually turned out to be taken out of context. Wang explained that the footage goes back to 2016, and that the bats weren't served in China, but in Palau, a Pacific island country where bat soup is something of a specialty. It's not just misinformation that's fanning the flames of xenophobia. Poor choices of words in the media are also playing a major role. Sensational headlines are associating the outbreak with where it originated from, framing it as a China thing and giving ammo to antagonistic sentiments. These dramatic misnomers are thriving partly because, for the longest time, the disease did not have a proper name. We now know the new coronavirus disease as COVID-19, and having an official designation is a big deal.
Having a name matters to prevent the use of other names that can be inaccurate or stigmatizing.
Damaging information, offensive comments, and clickbait headlines are having real-world consequences. In Italy, Chinese tourists were reportedly spat on. No Chinese signs were put up outside shops in Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam. Over in New York, police are asking for the public's help to identify the man in this alleged subway attack on an Asian woman wearing a mask. It's just a fraction of the numerous documented racial abuse cases and instances of discrimination against Chinese and anyone deemed Chinese-looking since the outbreak. A sobering reminder that racism spreads faster than any virus.